Hello everyone, happy dawning and have a merry time to you all baking cookies, and I will be making a separate video about the process of the dawning and how to just kind of better go about it for all you random people out there. But in this video I'm going to cover all the cosmetics that is freshly brought to us with the blanket of snow in the tower. Now keep in mind, as usual with these events, in case you do not know, with the events, these cosmetics are available for 3 weeks only. As soon as Tuesday hits 3 weeks from now and the event goes away, everything related, whether it be the title, the weapons, the event card, or just the cosmetics in the Eververse store, they will all disappear and they might not return ever because we don't know officially how many more dawnings we'll have this, season of Destiny. But with that, let's get into the front store. Now, you'll be able to find a bunch of the event items right here in this tab in case you wish to find them. And of course, on the front page, we have the Astral Stasis Drake bundle, which is the Dawning armor set for this year, which is basically Celestial Space Dragon, as they put it, which I was a fan of the description, but then actually seeing them in game, at least the coloring they have off the bat, I'm not as much as a fan as I thought I was. I imagine the helmets are going to be the important part because obviously spiky dragon-based helmets, and of course something like the robes or the hoods for the various characters that give you wings is probably going to be what most people use, but I'll for sure get at least one of these and give my official opinion later once I actually get to be able to shader them, which please Bungie, can I preview shaders so I can see whether or not I like this armor. Regardless, that is pretty much the start. I'll of course scroll through and at least show screenshots of what each character would look like with their own respective armor, but I do think I like the Warlock best of the Draconic armor, just because at the same time all of them have wings, but the Warlock is the only one where the wings are extended. The Hunters is a part of their hood, and Titans just aren't really out that much. Now, there is a few bundles on the front page that I believe are partial ways new and partial ways old, depending on some of these, and especially some past events, because if you can tell with this bundle, 2 of these are from Festival of the Lost, oddly enough, which I guess is the theme of Ghosts of Dawning. Past, present, but at the same time, these are just ghost shells, so they are in the end of the day cosmetic, so feel free to collect them if you want for discounts. Same thing with the bundle right here. I do believe these are all new. First, the Cocoa Shell, which is a nice little cute hot cocoa ghost, which is animated, oddly enough. The next is the Festive Stag, which sounds familiar, but it doesn't look familiar. Although, Dawning cosmetics all look about the same. But a new ship, as well as the Glowmobile, which is, I believe, another mini Sparrow, possibly. It's kind of hard to tell visually. It does seem like it would be another mini Sparrow, but it's hard to kind of tell from the visual. But it does have a nice snowy trail and a little happy-go-lucky Jack Frost just kind of hanging out. But into the main page. We have a new finisher this year, the Cooked Finisher, which, that was not surprising. I thought it was about to be throwing cookies, but no, it's not throwing cookies. It's throwing the whole dang oven at your enemies. That's actually kind of funny. Next is the Sad Tree emote, something newer, which I guess is just you doing your best to spruce up that little lonely, sad pine tree that can't hold even a single ornament. Which, man, that's a bit of a depressing emote, I'm not gonna lie. And now we also have the Holiday Caroling, which, listening, it doesn't come with any sound, thank God, but that is just pretty much the wrap up of that. And there's of course other emotes. I will include this Snowball toss so you can see the preview. It's a nice little chibi one in case you want to literally just throw things at your friends. I think it's a continuous one where you'll keep throwing them if you don't stop it. Actually, yeah, it is continuous. You have to manually stop it in order to end it. That's kind of rare nowadays. And then there's of course a few other blue rarity shells. And then we have another new one, the Wintry Neighbor shell. Wintry Neighbor, I think it's a Star Horse joke or some sort of unicorn. I think this is honestly just looking at a part of the Doki Doki set, though. Oddly, and well, that is a big cue right there, that line. So this is a part of the Doki Doki set that I guess got bundled in with I almost said Festival of the Lost. That's incorrect, with the Dawning. But and another Sparrow, another broom to ride. Technically, we have the Peppermint Condition, which I guess is just you riding a pole in the end, because it doesn't look exactly like a broom, but it is, it's very festive if you want to. I was going to say something quite vulgar, but I don't know if I'm going to say that officially. And lastly, we have a new ship for this year, the Dawning Light ship, which, per the usual, it looks cool and festive, but then I imagine once you shader it, well, actually, no, this one kind of actually holds on. Because usually these lights, they don't change color but with shaders, but they actually seem to keeping that up. Yeah, that's actually working quite well. This ship might be unique. Then for a new ghost projection, it's the Festive Smallin, in case you wanted them to look frankly a little bit terrifying because those eyes are soulless. And as well, the Peppermint Burst Transmat effect, another new one actually for once, a new Transmat. And then going through the rest of the list, we have past armor sets that are, of course, available for 1500 silver or 6000 Bright Dust. Keep in mind that go back as far as, I think, Shadowkeep, because the Opulent Strix right here would be the Lightfall, the Purina Luster would be the Witch Queen, the Dendrite Shimmer would be the Beyond Light, and then Lucent Night would also be Shadowkeep. So if you were looking for any of the old armor sets from year 1 or Forsaken, unfortunately they are not available, but if you wish to collect any of the other ones, be it for Bright Dust or Silver, they are of course here on all 3 classes. As well, if you wanted past visuals, there is of course various finishers, transmats, shaders, well actually no, not shaders, those will only appear in the Bright Dust store, but emotes, ships, sparrows, even weapon ornaments. Unfortunately at current, it doesn't seem like they're making any new weapon ornaments nowadays, as the variety that is here is pretty much the ones we've had for a few seasons. I think Cold Cheer might have been last dawnings or the dawning before that, but regardless, some of these have been around here since Shadowkeep, and some of these have not been that recent. But keeping on the page, we have for the front page. Now keep in mind as well with the dawning, while it's active, the Bright Dust stores will be offering stuff specifically from the dawning. Lots of shaders, lots of variety transmats, and some high-ticket items that would be a fair bit of silver, but also a fair bit of Bright Dust if you actually have it on you. Starting off, we have Aniline Shock, which is basically just you looking frosty. There is no real way to describe it. You are white and you are blue. Similarly, I imagine with Dawning Festiveness, except you are more black with blue and white at the same time. Then we have the Howling Blizzard Transmat effect, which is certainly appropriate now that we have Stasis and Silence and Squalls to worry about. The next is Sketchy Skating, a multiplayer emote, which is basically just you and another doing your best to not fall over while ice skating. But sadly, no one falls, so it's not really that great. The next is a very similar idea, the Struggle Skate, where, you know, people really struggling to just casually walk, but then another one that just straight up ends. Into our main store for shaders and transmats, we have the Dawning Hope, which I honestly can't remember what season they came from, but this is one of those ones that adds a subtle, or not really subtle, pattern to everything else. It is kind of like a winter multi-cam, sort of, but also not being camo at all. It's actually kind of messed up my helmet right there. Then, as well, we have the Dawning Warmth, which is similar to a Dawning base one, but it's a little more solar. It honestly makes me think of hot chocolate when I look at it with the color scheme. Dawning Festiveness, which, keep in mind, a lot of these, actually, this is a repeat, I believe. And Aniline Shock again. Actually, both of those were repeats. But then we also have some transmat effects. The Snowy Entrance for popping out of a cute little snowman in a weird frame rate. The Piled High Transmat effect, which is, of course, you popping out of a bunch of transmatted presents. And then the Peppermint Burst, which we just saw on the front page. Bungie, please stop repeat iteming, especially for these limited time festive emotes. Then for the big ticket items, we have the Ice Carving emote, which this does actually have variety. This is one that I've actually kept around for a few times. You carve up a piece of ice that appears in front of you, and it becomes something of a few options. I don't know if it'll actually show it because the ice seems to be missing in this instance, but there we go. Actually, it appeared. It carved a Smallin. So if you wish to have something to just casually do in the waiting, you can. And then the Snowball Toss emote that I just saw earlier, that is an infinite emote, that is available right now for Bright Dust if you wish to pick it up as well. Then the Cocoa Shell that we just previewed, again, also available for Bright Dust, as well as the Dawning Lights ship that I just looked. This is the one that actually it goes well with shaders, with the lights actually changing colors depending on the shader. Good one on that. Now, one that I believe is from as far back as year 1 or year 2 Dawning, the Polar Prancer. Actually, I believe year 2. They didn't have these types of sparrows in year 1. Regardless, quite old, basic Dawning look, a nice little frosty breeze, but then otherwise just Dawning detail. And the Frostborn ornament. Now, oddly enough, this one isn't available in the store for ornaments, but it is a look for Black Talon that gives it a very stasis crystal or crusted look. At the same time, though, Black Talon, who even uses that nowadays? Legitimately, if you use it, let me know. I would love to see how many ones of people do. And lastly, the Great Pigeon projection for anyone who's a fan of Saint 14. With that, that is the end of the Eververse update for Dawning 2024. Now, again, I will always reiterate this, hammer it into your brains. If there was anything that you like in the store, whether it be for Bright Dust for the week or the events tab in general for the 3 weeks, get it while you can before the Tuesday comes around and suddenly they disappear, because if you can't, you might need to spend actual money on it, and if you don't do that, you might lose out on it until next year's Christmas time. With that, my name is the Mad Scorpion. I will see you in the next video.